Hi, in this video we're going to highlight the things we really like about the Tineco Pure One S12 cordless vacuum cleaner. Now, what do you get when you buy your Pure One S12? Well, we've got it laid out here and we're going to quickly walk through it. So you get your handheld device. It's got a post-motor filter and a pre-motor filter in it. You, of course, have your wand, and this is your cleaner head. This is the one you're going to use for both carpet and bare floors. It's the only cleaner head that comes with the vacuum cleaner. Now, your cleaner head, your handheld, and your wand, of course, all combine together to make your stick vacuum. Now, Tineco have provided 2 batteries, which is quite nice. We'll talk about that a little later. And they've also provided a second pre-motor filter, and we will also discuss that in a bit. This is your charging unit. You've got a mini motorized tool here, so it's got a motor in it and its own little brush roll. Got a little kind of device here for pulling hair off of brush rolls. This is a combo tool. It's got an extendable brush that goes out to the front, and that can also be pulled back. This is a pre-motor filter cleaning device. We will be running through this later on. You'll see it at work. This is a fine dusting brush, a crevice tool, a very long crevice tool. As you can see, this can be extended and it can be bent to some extent. So maybe you'll be able to get around some corners and things with that. The vacuum also comes with a wall mount and mounting screws, kind of handy. It's a fairly robust feeling unit. Now, one of the neat things about this wall mount is you can charge your second battery in this. Where are we? Okay, so that can sit in there while the stick vac is here. So you've always got that second battery charged up, kind of handy. In addition, you will notice that there are places on here for 1, 2, 3 tools to be stored. They give you a bag. It's actually kind of a nice cloth bag. It's not plastic or paper or anything, so that's handy. Printed right on the bag is a toll-free number for support. It's got service hours, even got a support email address, and you get a quick start guide and a manual, and the manual is nicely detailed. We really like that the tools click into place. They're not using compression fits, so you don't have to push them on and kind of pull them off. Now, this is the handheld component. Let's take a crevice tool, see what we mean here. Clicks into place, doesn't come off. The only way to remove that tool is to depress this button here, and it comes off nice and easy. It's the same with all the tools. This is the mini motorized tool. Securely fits into place, doesn't come off. Press the button, it comes off easily. Now, you can also put all those tools in the end of the wand, and the wand itself snugly fits together here, clicks into place. Let's put on a mini motorized tool. Okay, so you can see how all that works. Dyson use the same approach. Some machines, some manufacturers or particular models do not, and we really like the way things fit together. A quick note here, the clips you see in this video are predominantly related to things we really like about the S12 vacuum cleaner. However, we do have a few clips that relate to things like vacuum performance and vacuum specifications, and they're not really a pro or a con, but we've left them in because we think they are very helpful in better understanding the vacuum. We like how solid the S12 feels. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels fairly well put together. Now, we've got another Tineco machine here. This is the Tineco A10 Hero, and it's quite a bit less expensive than the S12, but it's still not a bad cordless vacuum, but it simply doesn't have that same build quality feel that you get from your S12. You get 2 batteries with your S12 and the ability to swap batteries out. So when one battery is discharged, you can take a charged battery and put that in and continue vacuuming. This is something a lot of Dyson stick vac owners wish their machines have, and to date Dyson has not implemented this. So how do you do that? How do you swap them out? Here's the handheld component. This is the battery back here. You press down here and it slides right out. Take a new battery, push it in, and away you go. We like the level of filtration in the vacuum. You've got your pre-motor filters and you've got a HEPA post-motor filter. Now, a HEPA filter is great if maybe you or someone in your household suffers from asthma or allergies. It's going to remove things like pollen and pet dander, mold spores, stuff like that. This vacuum's also got a sealed system, so all of the air entering the vacuum is going to go through those filters before being exhausted from the machine. Cleaning the filters on this vacuum is a little bit different, so we're going to quickly walk through it. Now, on the back is your HEPA filter. That comes out very easily. This can be rinsed in water, and when it's completely dry, you just pop it back in the vacuum. Very straightforward. Hopefully you won't have to do your HEPA filter very often. Now, your pre-motor filters, that's a little different. Now, to get at them, we're going to open up the dust canister door here, reach inside, give this assembly a little twist, comes right out. And the bottom, you'll see there's a little knob. You can pull on that, and this is your cloth filter, and this is your mesh filter. The mesh filter, you're going to take a damp cloth, wipe this thing down, let it dry. Now, your pre-motor filter, let's put it down here and go over here and grab our second filter. If you remember at the beginning of the video, we talked about Tineco giving you this second filter. It's more than a nice feature, it's actually essential because we're going to use this pre-motor filter cleaning device to clean the dirty filter, but you can't run the vacuum without a filter in it. That's why you need the second one. So let's take the dirty filter, put it into the pre-motor filter cleaner, close it up, attach it to the vacuum cleaner. Now, we've got to make sure we get our filter back in here before we run this thing. So the filter, the clean one, goes into the now dry mesh filter. We're going to open up the dust canister. This goes in here. We just give it a twist, and it's good. It's stable in there. And close out the dust canister door. Now we're going to turn this on. Pre-motor filter cleaning device is spinning the filter in one direction, pulling the dust off it. Then it reverses direction, rotates it in the other direction, pulling the dust off it. And you can let it do that as many times as you like or you're comfortable with. And there you go. This is now a clean filter. You can leave it out if you want. And your pre-motor filter is cleaned and changed. Some Dyson cordless owners complain that they have to constantly depress the trigger to power the vacuum, and their finger can get tired over time. Now, Tineco have built in a trigger lock, and that will depress the trigger for you so you don't have to use your finger constantly. It works. We like that the vacuum has headlights. Now, there are 4 LED lights across the front of this cleaner head. Now, headlights are handy if you're vacuuming under low furniture, where it might be a bit dark, or frankly, in any dimly lit area. Now, we'll turn the vacuum on. You should be able to see the headlights. Of course, they're not too bright right now. We're vacuuming in a fairly well illuminated area. We like that the Tineco S12 has finely variable suction. Now, I'll show you what we mean in a second. Let's take a look first at a couple of other popular vacuums. This is the V8, Dyson V8, and you have low power, max power. That's the same 2 power modes you get with the V6 and the V7. This here is the V10. You've got low, medium, and max. So the V10 and the V11 both have low, medium, and max. Now over here with the Tineco, you basically have a lot more incremental suction options or power options, and let's take a look at that now. You see, this is a slider up to max, down to low, and virtually anything in between you feel like. So there are many more incremental power options with the Tineco. In this table, we compare the suction power of the S12, the Dyson V10, and the Dyson V11. Now, your V10 and your V11 both have 3 power settings, but we've only got 2 up here. The S12 has a suction slider. It doesn't have those suction settings, so it's hard to figure out what exactly would be medium, so we're just using low and max. So let's look at the S12. Low power mode, 13 air watts. V10 15.8 air watts, and the V11 26 air watts. So at its lowest setting, your S12 is running the least power of all 3 vacuum cleaners. In max power mode, the S12 150 air watts, the V10 151. So your S12 and your V10 pretty much have the same suction in max power mode, and the V11 at 185 air watts. We've done some runtime tests. We've got the S12, the Dyson V10 Absolute, and the Dyson V11 Absolute. Now, we ran each machine with the cleaner head you see on it here. Those are the ones you'd probably be using on carpet. We've run it on this carpet. We made sure each battery was fully charged, depressed the trigger down, and using a stopwatch, we recorded runtimes and put them in a table. So these are the results. We've got the S12, the Dyson V10, and the Dyson V11. We've got low power mode and max power mode, and a couple of other columns here that we'll talk about in a second. Now, in terms of low and max power, we know that the S12 doesn't really have those switchable power modes. It's got this variable suction. So for low power mode, we move the variable suction to the bottom, and for max power mode, we move the variable suction all the way up to the top. Okay, so let's talk numbers. S12, low power mode, 24 minutes and 28 seconds. V10, quite a bit longer, 40 minutes and 17 seconds. The longest of all was the V11, 55 minutes and 14 seconds. Max power mode, S12, 8 minutes and 57 seconds. A little lower in the V10, 7 minutes and 14 seconds. And the longest of all, V11, 12 minutes and 52 seconds. Now, what are these two columns over here? Well, they effectively represent the runtime you get with two batteries, because we know the S12 comes with two batteries. Now, your Dysons do not. So low power mode with two batteries, your S12 is going to give you 48 minutes and 56 seconds. Essentially double the time of this. When your one battery runs out, you simply pop the other one in. Max power mode, 17 minutes and 54 seconds, which is the longest runtime of any of the three in max power mode. We like that the Tineco has an auto power mode. Now, the way that works is it's measuring the dust in the airflow up here. There is a dust sensor here, and when you get more dust in the airflow, well, the Tineco increases suction because you're dealing with a dirtier floor situation. Now, what we're going to do here is show you the suction level on the vacuum, or the power level, while we're vacuuming on a clean carpet. Then we're going to move over to this area, and you should both hear and see that suction level go up on the control panel here. So let's give that a try. So over here we're on fairly clean carpet. You can see the suction level there, quite low. This is also a some kind of like dust loop, that bright blue loop there. It gets redder when there is more debris encountered. Now let's step over here and start dealing with this debris. You'll see that loop go red. You'll hear the suction go up. You'll see the suction start to shift up. At least I hope you can see it from there. As we clean it, suction level has gone back down. The loop is looking a lot more blue. We do light the control panel on this machine, and it's right here. You can't see anything until you actually turn the machine on. So what we're going to do is turn the machine on, use the trigger lock, so we can see the control panel. Now, green is the battery telling us it's got a charge on it. I think below about 20%, and that goes red. Here we can see it's at 75%. This is also your Wi-Fi indicator, because there is an app that comes with the S12. These three little bars here are indicating suction power, and those can be adjusted with the slider here. There's also an auto mode. If you just hold that for a second, the vacuum goes into auto mode, and it's taken out of auto mode by using the slider again. The giant blue ring is called a dust monitoring loop. That actually starts to turn red when the airflow gets dust in it, and there is a sensor down here. And when the airflow has less dust, it's more blue. Now, there are three trouble lights here that are not on, and you can't see them here. But one will tell you if there's tangling in the brush roll, another will tell you if there's an airflow blockage, and another one will tell you if there's an error or a problem with the dust sensor. We ran some noise level tests on the S12. We used a digital noise level meter, and it measures peak decibels. Now, we ran the machine with the brush roll spinning, and we compared the noise level of the S12 to the Dyson V10 and the Dyson V11, both in low power and in max power mode, and your S12 was quieter in all cases than the Dysons. As a matter of fact, we would have to say that this is indeed a fairly quiet vacuum cleaner. Moving forward in this video, we're going to focus on cleaning performance, and we're going to compare debris pickup between the S12, the Dyson V10, and the Dyson V11. Now, for the most part, we're fairly pleased with the cleaning performance of the S12. That's why all these video clips are in this particular video. But we should also state that the S12 sometimes performs a little better than the Dysons, and sometimes it's maybe not quite as effective, but it really does help, I think, to keep all of this cleaning content in the one video. We should highlight here that the cleaner heads on these two Dyson vacuum cleaners have this slider on the front that opens and closes two gaps along the front of the cleaner head. The S12 does not have this particular feature. Now, with these gaps open, this tends to allow larger debris to get under the cleaner head, but you also lose a little bit of suction underneath the cleaner head. Now, you can close those gaps, but you might snowplow larger debris. At the same time, you're maximizing suction under the cleaner head. Now, this thing actually has three settings: fully closed, partially open, and fully open. Now, depending on the setting, it could affect your pickup, and that's really a function of the surface you're on, the kind of debris you're dealing with, and the power setting on the vacuum. Let's start by looking at pickup on low pile carpet. Now, we put down a debris field of small, medium, and larger size debris, ran each vacuum over it in approximately a 10-second pass. Now, in our first test, the vacuums were all set to their lowest power settings, and we found that the gap setting on the front of the cleaner heads on the Dysons didn't really make a whole lot of difference in this particular test. So let's take a look at the clips. You can see in those clips that the S12 did a better job of picking up the finer debris than the Dysons did, although all of the vacuums left a little bit of the larger debris at the end of the pass. Now let's take a look at pickup on the same carpet, but in max power mode. Now in max power mode, we found that the gap settings on the front of the Dyson cleaner heads did make a difference. So we've run tests with the gaps fully open and tests with the gaps fully closed. Remember that the S12 does not have that gap feature on the front. In those last clips, you can see that the S12 outperformed the Dysons when the gaps on the front of the Dyson cleaner heads were closed. But when we opened those gaps, the Dysons actually performed better than the S12. We did some bare floor cleaning tests. In this case, we used tile. Now, those gaps on the front of the Dyson cleaner heads, well, it didn't seem to make a lot of difference whether those were open or closed on our tile surface. We ran them in both open mode and closed mode, and we've chosen the best pickup runs to show in the upcoming video clips. Now, even so, the S12 outperformed the Dysons in low power mode, and even in max power mode, the S12 looked like it had a little better pickup than the Dysons. An important note here, in those last video clips we saw the machines using the cleaner heads you see on them here. And with the V10, that is the torque drive cleaner head. With the V11, it's the high torque cleaner head. And with the S12, it is the direct drive multitasker cleaner head. Now, if you happen to get the absolute version of these Dyson vacuums, well, that actually comes with an extra cleaner head. You get this soft roller cleaner head. Now, this will outperform all of those cleaner heads on a bare floor. And we actually have a clip of the V11 using this cleaner head in low power mode, and you can see that it picks up pretty much everything. Now, to be fair, it's important to point out that Tineco also has a version called the S12 Plus, and it comes with its own soft roller cleaner head. Now, we don't have that cleaner head, so we weren't able to test it, but in all likelihood, it probably performs similarly to what we saw with the Dyson and its soft roller cleaner head. So those are some of the things we really like about the Tineco Pure One S12, along with some interesting comparisons and specifications. Now, there are some things about this vacuum that we don't like a whole lot, and you can see those in our video entitled What We Dislike about the Tineco Pure One S12. Thanks very much for watching.